Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. We are so glad you are here with us today. We have a topic that seems tiny at first glance because it is just one small word that makes the difference. But that one small word changes the entire feeling and meaning of what you are saying. And once you hear the explanation today, it is going to click immediately.
That is right. Today we are talking about few and a few. The only difference between these two expressions is one little word, the article a. But that single article completely changes the meaning. Few and a few are not interchangeable, and using the wrong one can make your sentence mean something quite different from what you intended.
We're going to cover what each one means, why they are so different despite looking so similar, how to use them correctly in sentences, the parallel pair little and a little, which follows the exact same pattern, common mistakes, two real conversations, and a quiz. Let's get started.
Let's start with a few. A few means a small number of something, but with a positive feeling. When you say a few, you're focusing on the fact that some exist. Not many, but some. There's a positive, optimistic tone. You're saying there are some, and that's good, or at least acceptable.
Think about someone who has moved to a new city. After a few weeks, they say, "I've made a few friends here." That sentence is positive. They are saying, yes, the number is small, but they do have some friends. It's a hopeful, satisfied feeling. A few means some, not many, but enough to feel positive about.
Some examples of a few in sentences. I have a few minutes before my next meeting. She has a few ideas she wants to share with us. We visited a few museums during our trip. He made a few mistakes, but overall did well. I need a few more days to finish the project. There's a few things I want to ask you about. In all of these, the tone is positive or neutral. The small number is presented as something workable or acceptable.
Now let's talk about few without the article a. Few means a small number but with a negative or concerning feeling. When you say few, you are focusing on the lack of something. The emphasis is on not enough. There's a pessimistic or worried tone. You're saying the number is so small it's almost none, and that's a problem or a concern. Think about the same person who moved to a new city. After several months, they say, "I have few friends here." That sentence feels very different. It carries a sense of loneliness or worry. The person is saying the number is so small it's barely enough. Few signals that something is lacking. It's not just a small number, it's an inadequately small number.
Some examples of few in sentences. Few people understood what she was trying to say. Few students passed the exam this year. He has few options left. There are few restaurants in this area that are open late. Few politicians are willing to speak honestly about this issue. She received few replies to her application. In all of these, the tone is negative or critical. Something is lacking. The number is disappointingly small.
So, the difference is all about feeling and emphasis. A few focuses on the presence of some. Few focuses on the absence of enough. A few is the glass half full. Few is the glass half empty. Both describe a small number, but from completely opposite emotional perspectives. Here's a simple contrast that makes it very clear. I have a few friends means I have some friends, not many, but I'm not completely alone, and I feel okay about it. I have few friends means I barely have any friends, and this is a problem or a cause for concern. The number could be the same in both sentences. The difference is entirely in how the speaker feels about that number.
Now, let's talk about little and a little, because this pair follows exactly the same pattern as few and a few. The only difference is that few and a few are used with countable nouns, the things you can count individually, like friends, books, and minutes. Little and a little are used with uncountable nouns, the things you cannot count individually, like water, time, money, and patience.
A little means a small amount, but with a positive feeling. I have a little money saved up. Let's wait a little longer. She has a little experience with this kind of work. all positive or neutral in tone. There is some, and that's workable.
Little, without the article a, means a small amount with a negative or concerning feeling. There's little hope of recovery. He has little patience for dishonesty. There's little time left before the deadline. I have little experience with this and I'm worried. The tone is negative. The amount is inadequately small.
So the pattern is perfectly consistent. A few and a little are positive or neutral. They mean some, not many or much, but enough. Few and little without the article are negative or critical. They mean not enough. The number or amount is so small it's a concern.
Let's hear a few more examples. Positive uses of a few. We have a few minutes before the film starts. She has a few suggestions that might help. A few colleagues have already expressed interest. A few days of rest should be enough.
Negative uses of few. Few employees were willing to speak up. Few students passed the exam this year. He has few options left. There are few opportunities available for young people in this area. In all of those, the low number is a problem.
Notice that few often appears with very to make the negativity even stronger. Very few people attended means the turnout was almost empty. Very few students passed means almost all of them failed. And one more important phrase to know. Quite a few actually means a fairly large number, not a small one. Quite a few people came to the event means a good number came. Don't be confused by the word few inside it.
Now, let's go through the mistakes because this is where learners make the most progress.
Mistake number 1, using few when the meaning is meant to be neutral or positive. A learner might say, I have few ideas about how to solve this, and mean that they have some ideas and want to share them. But few sounds negative and suggests they're worryingly short of ideas. The correct expression for a neutral or positive small number is a few. I have a few ideas about how to solve this.
Mistake number 2. Using a few when the meaning is meant to signal a problem or something lacking. A learner might say, a few students passed the exam, when they want to communicate that the pass rate was disappointingly low. But a few sounds like the passing students are the good news rather than the poor performance being a concern. If the low number is a problem, the correct expression is few. Few students passed the exam.
Mistake number 3. Using few with uncountable nouns. A learner might say, there is few water left, or I have few time to finish. These are wrong because water and time are uncountable, and few only works with countable nouns. The correct expressions are, there is little water left, and I have little time to finish. Always remember, few is for countable nouns, and little is for uncountable nouns.
Mistake number 4. Using a few with uncountable nouns. A learner might say, I have a few money, or she has a few patience. These are wrong. A few only works with countable nouns. For uncountable nouns, use a little. I have a little money. She has a little patience.
Mistake number 5. Thinking quite a few means a small number because it contains the word few. This is a very easy trap to fall into. Quite a few actually means a fairly large or surprisingly large number. If you mean a small or worryingly small number, you want few or a few. If you mean a surprisingly good number, you want quite a few.
Mistake number 6. Forgetting that the tone and feeling matter as much as the number. Some learners focus so hard on the grammar that they forget the emotional message. Even if the actual number is the same, choosing few versus a few sends a completely different message to the listener. Always ask yourself whether you want to present this small number as positive or as a concern. That decision tells you which word to use.
6 mistakes and 6 clear corrections. These are the exact patterns that will sharpen your English and help you communicate your real meaning accurately.
Now, let us look at 2 conversations so you can hear few and a few working naturally in real situations.
First conversation. 2 friends talking about a job search.
How is the job search going? Any luck?
A little progress. I have sent out quite a few applications over the past month, and I've had a few responses so far.
That is encouraging. What kind of roles are you applying for?
Mostly marketing roles, but there are few positions that match my exact experience level. Most of the jobs I'm finding are either too junior or too senior.
That sounds frustrating. Have you tried networking? A few of my contacts work in marketing and might be able to help.
That would be great. I have a few interviews lined up next week, but I'm not feeling very confident about them yet.
Do not worry. You have a few weeks before your current job ends. There's still time. And honestly, few candidates have your combination of skills, so you're in a strong position.
Did you notice? A few responses, and a few contacts, and a few interviews, and a few weeks all used a few because the small numbers are workable and positive. Few positions used few because the small number is a problem and a concern. And few candidates used few as a positive compliment, meaning not many people can match your skills.
Second conversation. A teacher speaking to a student after a test.
Can I talk to you about your test results?
Of course. How did I do?
You made a few errors in the grammar section, but overall you showed a good understanding of the topic.
That's a relief. I was quite nervous. Were the errors serious?
No, just a few minor points. Most of them were the same type of mistake, so once you understand that pattern, you won't make it again. However, there are a few topics from the second half of the course that we need to revisit.
I struggled with those. I felt like I had little time to study them properly before the test.
I understand. Few students feel fully prepared for this exam. It covers a lot of ground. But you have quite a few strengths to build on, and I think you'll do very well if you focus on those weaker areas.
Thank you. I only have a few weeks before the next test, so I'll make the most of them.
That conversation showed a few errors and a few minor points and a few topics as small numbers presented in a workable and positive way. Few students used few to mean most students share this feeling of not being fully prepared. Little time used little for an uncountable noun in a negative sense of not having enough. Quite a few strengths to show a surprisingly good number.
Quiz time. 5 sentences. Correct or incorrect? Take a moment before we give each answer.
Sentence 1. I have few ideas and I want to share them with you.
Take a moment. This is incorrect if the intention is positive or neutral. If the speaker has some ideas and wants to share them, they should say a few. I have few ideas means the number is so small it's a concern. The natural positive version is I have a few ideas and I want to share them.
Sentence 2. Few students chose to attend the optional session.
This is correct if the low turnout is meant to be noted as a concern or disappointment. Few signals that the number was worryingly low. This is a natural and correct use.
Sentence 3. She has few patience when people are late.
This is incorrect in 2 ways. First, patience is uncountable, so few cannot be used. Second, if the meaning is that she has very little patience, the correct form for uncountable nouns is little. The correct sentence is, she has little patience when people are late.
Sentence 4. We have a few minutes before the meeting starts. Let's get some coffee.
This is correct. A few minutes is a small number presented positively or neutrally. There is enough time to get coffee. This is a perfectly natural and common sentence.
Sentence 5. Quite a few people came to the event, which was great to see.
This is correct. Quite a few means a fairly large number, not a small one. Don't be fooled by the word few inside it. Quite a few is positive and suggests more than you might expect.
The one question to ask yourself every time: do I want to present this small number or amount as acceptable and positive, or as a problem and a concern? Positive means use a few or a little. Problem or concern means few or little.
And that's everything for today. We really hope this episode gave you complete clarity and real confidence with few and a few and their uncountable partners, little and a little. These words appear in every conversation about quantity and amounts, and getting the feeling right makes your English much more precise and natural.
Your practice task, write 4 sentences. 1 using a few with a positive feeling, 1 using few with a negative feeling, 1 using a little with a positive feeling, and 1 using little with a negative feeling. That covers every important use from today.
Leave your questions in the comments. We love hearing from our listeners every week.
Share this episode with someone who's learning English. Every person you share it with is someone we get to help.
Take good care of yourself. Keep practicing, and remember that the small details in English are what make the biggest difference to how natural you sound.
We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, and keep going. You're doing brilliantly.